a lot of you enjoyed it. I hope that a lot of you had fun. And I am looking forward to seeing the fallout to this. Of course, we're going to have Johnny Gargano. We're going to hear from Johnny Gargano. That's going to be the big talking point. That's definitely the thing that I'm looking forward to the most. I don't quite know what he's going to say. I don't know if you saw, but Johnny was actually in the ring after War Games, and he spoke to the crowd and said that he's got a lot of respect, a lot of love for the crowd, and he is going to tell everything on Tuesday. He's going to reveal everything on Tuesday, and so it seems like he's leaving. It seemed to me like from the little kind of little promo that he did, it was only very short, but it seemed like he was pretty beat up and a bit tired. From what I was getting, I got the feeling that he was quite tired and he needed a rest. I got a feeling that he was pretty beat up and he needed a rest. I didn't get the feeling that he was about to leave to go to a different company. I think he's having a break for a while. I think that he is actually going to go and obviously have a baby. Him and Candice are having a kid. So I think he was going to go and prepare to be a father. But I was just getting the impression that he was pretty beaten up. I was just getting the impression that he was struggling a little bit. So, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know what the dirt sheets are saying. I don't know what people are expecting. I'm certainly expecting him to be leaving NXT. I think that this could be quite emotional. I think that he's going to go off and be a dad. And then I'm expecting him to either go to AEW or go to the main roster. And I think that he is going to go to the main roster. Don't know. It could be AEW. It really could. It could be AEW. But I was getting the impression more so that he was going to go away for a while and then potentially come back. But I could be wrong. Days, Root is out, said James Chadwick. Dude, do you know what? I'm having a nightmare with all of that. I haven't even had a chance to follow it. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to try and catch up with the cricket. What an amazing run Gargano has had. Gargano is in my top 2 favourite wrestlers, says to Boy. Johnny will go to WoW, obviously. I mean, like, if anyone knows of any latest rumours, it's going to be Harley. So, have you heard anything at all? Like, what has been said? I mean, I'm really surprised that no information has come out. I'm really surprised that I haven't seen, like, Dave Meltzer said this or Sean Ross Sapp reporting something. Like, it just seems to have gone really, really quiet. It just seems like no one's really saying anything. So, I don't know. It's really weird. It feels really weird. Tonight feels really weird. So, you think him addressing his actions tonight favors in the direction of him staying? I do believe Kyle is done after his match. I can't get my head around it. The honest answer is I don't know. The honest answer is I can't figure out what is happening with Johnny. I think it's very emotional. I think that he's done with NXT. I'm willing to say that. I think he's done with NXT. I think it's going to be emotional. I feel like he's going to speak to us tonight and say that he's going away. But I don't think he's going away and he's going to turn up in AEW next week or anything. It really, like, I can't remember his exact words, but it really felt like he was pretty beaten up. And, like, it felt like he was quite tired and maybe even, like, emotionally and physically and mentally, like, drained a bit. And also, you know, just being a dad is just going to be such a thing as well for him, such a monumental thing. I think the thing with Johnny is that he's a really great guy, isn't he? Like, there's a lot of, like, wrestlers out there that, you know, they can become fathers, and but for them, like, they still want to be wrestlers and get back to wrestling. Like, I mean, there's loads of wrestlers back in the day that became fathers. You wouldn't even have known. You wouldn't even have known because they didn't miss any dates and they were still and like they still gave their all to the job. I kind of get the feeling that with Johnny, like, he loves wrestling, but I get the feeling he's going to be a proper dad. Like, it really wouldn't surprise me if Johnny took 6 months off or something to, you know, be there for Candice and be there for the child and, like, really, like, be a really great father, as, like, you know, as present as he can be. Like, he just comes across as that really great kind of a guy that's going to put his family first. And that's no knock, obviously, on, like, wrestlers from the past. It was a different era. It was a different time. But, yeah, that's one of the things you hear about wrestling is how, like, the wrestlers were just never around for their families, you know? There's, like, Jake the Snake. I remember a Jake the Snake documentary where Jake was saying, you know, he was just never there for his kids, never there for his family, and, you know, you just had to be on the road all the time. You had to just be like, I don't think Johnny's gonna be like that. I think Johnny is definitely, whatever's gonna happen, gonna be away. He's gonna leave. He's gonna go and be with Candice. And then maybe there's a degree of him not knowing where he's gonna come back to. Maybe there's that. Maybe there's a degree of Johnny still not knowing. I don't know. I just cannot get a read on it. Austin said, you just don't know with Johnny. I don't think he's AEW bound. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the main roster. I think he'll stay with Candice for a bit at first. Yeah, and then he's going to dump her. Yeah. He's going to stay with Candice for a bit, and then he's going to dump her. And he's going to be like, he's going to go off to nightclubs, and he's going to be in Cardi B videos. No, I get your point. Daniel said, the only thing I've seen is that Fightful talked to WWE higher-ups, and they have the impression that Kyle and Johnny will be gone from WWE by the end of the week. Days, England are 13-3, and Broad isn't playing. Okay, thank you, James. Planet Dan said the fact that they played it up all night makes me think that he could stay, but maybe he said to them that he helped build the brand and he wants to say goodbye properly. Yeah, I just don't, yeah. I can't get a read. I just cannot get a read. It's bothering me. Like, I just want to get I want the show to start with Johnny Gargano. I want him to come out, and I want him to flip him well, tell us what he's doing. Right? That's what I want. I want him to come out and tell us what the flip is doing. LSW said, I don't know if Gargano is leaving WWE, but I do think he'll take some time off. Chronic said, for AEP days, yes. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Should have changed that. That's annoying. Is it coming across at 480p? I checked, and the internet is restored. So for those that didn't know, I had proper internet problems earlier. Had to stream the football at 480p, and then literally just before I went live, about 10 minutes before, I was checking, and my internet came back. So I am actually connected to my normal internet now, but I think it's probably the settings are still not quite right. Oh, well. Rachel said, will Rob Van Dam appear tonight as MSK's Shaman? Yeah, that's probably the favourite that people have got. I mean, would kind of feel like he would be the Shaman. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard as to who that could be. But Rob Van Dam would probably be the favourite. Yeah, I don't know. Is there any other guesses as to who the Shaman could be? It'd be good to get an answer on that. The Johnny thing for me is overshadowing everything. It's absolutely overshadowing everything. So I'm waiting, like, the emotion and everything, the way that, like, everyone was acting, the way that Tommaso was acting as well towards War Games, And it just really felt like they weren't going to be working together again. Just kind of really felt like it was all coming to an end. So, yeah, just want to see. I hope he's not, like, ill or anything. I don't think he is. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. He might turn around and retire or something. I cannot get a read of it, and it's really bugging me. Because normally, like, I can get a good read of things, or there's rumours, or you get an idea where something's heading. I ain't got a flipping clue with this. He could turn around and say that he's done with NXT and he's not sure when he'll see us next. He could turn around and say that he's achieved everything he wants to achieve and he's retiring. He could say that he's got an eye on the main roster but not yet, or I just don't know. After Triple H and Stephanie, I thought the most lovable and beautiful couple in wrestling would be Candice and Gargano. That is just my opinion, says Habib. Yeah. I mean, obviously, me and Linda. I think me and Linda run it quite close. I mean, we are a lovely couple, and you should see our Christmas card this year. It's absolutely, it's wonderful. I don't know why she refused to put clothes on, but either way, it is a fantastic Christmas card. But yeah, I would agree. All joking aside, I think that Candice and Johnny are lovable. I think they are relatable. I think you do want to support them and you do want to see them succeed. And actually, I think that's a real cornerstone as to why The Way was so successful. So, Yasir said, who will win the WWE title match at day one? Has it been turned into a four-way with Bobby Lashley? I'm feeling pretty good that Big E's going to retain, to be honest. Whether it's still a triple threat or whether Bobby Lashley has been added and it's now a four-way, I'm going to say Big E retains. Harley said there's not really any stories heading into NXT tonight. It's pretty quiet. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird, yeah. It's like I've just not heard any rumors or any talk or, yeah. It's a weird episode. Definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing the fallout from War Games. I'm looking forward to seeing the Johnny Gargano segment. I was going to say section and segment, and it got mixed up. The Johnny Gargano segment. And obviously MSK and the Shaman. And yeah, there's a few things that I'm definitely interested in. Wrestle with Andy said, do you think it would be weird to give Johnny a big goodbye for him to go to competition? Yeah. It's a really good point. I mean, the only thing is that it's developmental. It doesn't get loads of views. If he's gonna, what he's achieved in NXT, I mean, people are gonna love him. In NXT, like Triple H is gonna love him. I'm sure Shawn Michaels loves him. I'm sure Matt Bloom loves him. I mean, I should imagine that everyone in NXT loves him. I don't know that people. Why would you give him a big send off and then make it a big deal for him to then end up just going to AEW? Maybe part of the thing is he is leaving WWE, but they know that he's going away for at least 3 months. So they're kind of like, well, we might as well give him this moment because he ain't coming back for another 3 months. And, you know, this tonight ain't going to make him any bigger than he already is. But yeah, I mean, it is another little thing that makes you wonder, like, why would they give him a big send off if he's about to go to AEW? It's a really good point. William said Gargano has applied for a position with a vacuum serve and will now sell door-to-door Suckmaster vacs. It's probably the best thing for him, in all fairness. It's probably the best thing for him. So, do WWE know he's confirmed he's on his way to AEW to them? If he's not, then it's all right. Yeah, I mean, I can't answer anything like that because I don't know. It's not often that you'll get me going, I haven't got a clue. I cannot read this situation. I don't know what's going on, and I'm panicking. But that's kind of where I am with this. I think, do you know what? This is really weird as well because, like, I really like Johnny Gargano. And it's not until now that he's, like, leaving or potentially leaving that you kind of all of a sudden just take a second and you think back about everything that he's done in NXT, and you kind of go, wow, man, that is quite the body of work. That is quite the body of work. Like, that has got to be, not only is he, for me, Mr. NXT, but that is just such an incredible career in any promotion. Like, it is just, he has been their main champion. He's been their mid-card champion. He's been their tag team champion. I think, has Candice ever won the women's title? I can't remember. But, like, she's certainly been one of their biggest female stars. Whether she has actually won it or not, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Now I've said it, I don't think she has. But either way, you know, Johnny obviously has been in a relationship with her all throughout, so they have been that power couple in NXT. He was in one of the greatest NXT tag teams of all time with DIY. He was in one of the greatest NXT feuds of all time with Tommaso Ciampa. He's had, I don't even know how many 5-star matches according to Meltzer. I think someone told me it was like 7, which, if that is true, is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Considering that I think, like, WWE have only ever had about 30 5-star matches, and then 7 of them have had Johnny Gargano in them. So, like, he's been in one of the greatest NXT tag teams. He's been in one of the greatest NXT feuds. He's been in probably, dare I say, more great WWE matches than anyone else. He's in a relationship with one of the biggest female stars in NXT. He was in one of the, dare I say, the Way are one of the best NXT groups. Dare I say that? I don't know if that's an unfair thing to say. I think they're one of the best groups. They're not the best group. That's Undisputed Era. But I think they're one of. And I think the other thing as well is that Johnny showed that he can do comedy. He showed that he can do serious drama. He's shown that he can really, like, do great promos, do great matches. So versatile. He can be in a tag team. He can be in mixed tag matches. He can be in a faction. He can go solo. He can be the face of the company. He can be the comedy character in the company. He is just everything, isn't he? He is just so good. If you was building a wrestling company and the first wrestler you chose was Johnny Gargano, you're already off to a great start. You're already off to a great start. Every wrestling company would benefit by having him. And now that it looks like he's leaving, you do just kind of take a second and just go, well, do you know what, mate? Take a bow. Take a bow. I don't give a flip if he's going to AEW. I don't care if he's going to AEW. I don't care if he's going to a New Japan. I don't care if he's going to Impact. Whatever, right? Absolutely, he deserves to have his own flipping episode just dedicated to him, where he just does, you know, whatever. He books the matches he wants to book. He gets the opponent he wants to face, and he gets time to do a promo at the end as well. Like, he has absolutely earned that right, even if he is going to AEW, because I just think he is Mr. NXT. Yeah, there'll be arguments for, like, Adam Cole, which I think is absolutely fine. There'll be arguments for, like, maybe Finn Balor, which is absolutely fine. But I got zero doubt in my mind that Johnny Gargano, outside of, say, Triple H, of course, is Mr. NXT. Vape Ross Vape said they would not let him on TV. It's Vince, pal. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thought, isn't it? So if that is the case, if it is the case that they wouldn't let him say goodbye if he was going to AEW, then what does that mean? Where is he going? Is he taking a break in its main roster next? Because if that is the case, then how exciting is that? How exciting is that? Like, what next for Johnny Gargano? Do you think Johnny might put off by the number of other NXT stars that were called up and messed about on the main roster? AEW could be a safe bet for him, as he won't have to worry about any of that. Yeah, definitely. I think he definitely would have... there's definitely going to have been seeds of doubt. I don't think Johnny has ever been in a rush to get to the main roster. I don't think he's ever been in a rush to get to the main roster. I think that Johnny came into WWE, into NXT. I can't imagine the plan was for him to stay in NXT for as long as what he did. But he came into NXT. They struck gold with him. DIY was brilliant. They knew they could do a singles run. And, he just kept delivering. The thing is that I don't think Vince is ever really going to look at Johnny Gargano and go, right, I need him now. I want him now. We're going to move with him. I don't think Vince is ever going to do that. So I think Johnny was just really allowed to just keep sitting in NXT. Just keep killing it in NXT. He was just brilliant for NXT. But, he hasn't really got the size that Vince would find appealing. At all. His physique is okay. But, it's not like he's jacked and he's 6'5" and all of this. So I think he's just kind of just been allowed to carry on and stay in NXT. I don't even know how many years. It's been like 5 or 6 years he's been in NXT. And to be honest, I don't think Johnny's wanted to go up because I think like him and Candice have got a life in Florida. And the thing with NXT is that it films at Full Sail or it films at the Performance Center. You haven't got to move around all the time. So you can literally just stay there. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Just stay in Florida. Like Candice, I think loves Disney. And I think they go to the Disney parks and go to Universal on their days off. I'm sure they've got a lot of friends in the area. Candice wrestles in NXT as well. You get to sleep in your own bed every night. It's not like where you're on the road doing house show tours and everything. The road is hard. If you listen to any shoot interviews from wrestlers, the road is difficult. When you're on the road, it's very, very difficult. It's very, very hard. Night after night. I don't know that it's quite that same world now because of the pandemic. There's not as many house shows, but it's a strain, man. It's a slog, and he's not had any of that. And he's been paid a decent wage, I would imagine. I can't imagine he's still on the entry-level NXT wage. I should imagine he's, received a nice bump in pay a few times. So, comfortable. Johnny, I should imagine, has got comfortable. But I think it's probably got to the point where it's like, well, he's got a kid that's on the way, and they can't keep doing that life now. It's time for them to... make a decision. And maybe it's time for WWE to make a decision. Perhaps Vince don't want to keep paying Johnny just to stay in NXT because it's not a third brand. It's developmental again. And so it's time to develop stars, so you can't have Tommaso staying down there. I should imagine Tommaso's going to face the same junction very, very soon of you either leave or you get called up. So I'd imagine the same fate is awaiting Tommaso very, very soon. Just maybe it's facing Johnny right now because of Candice having a kid. So, yeah, as I said, I just want to get to it. I just want to start with it. I don't want them to make us wait till the end. I'm sure they will. But I just want to open with Johnny. I want to hear what Johnny's got to say. Hopefully get some answers. I'm on the lookout for a biscuit thief, says Chronic's Effect. With Zelina and Carmella as tag champs, do you think Carmella has been made to feel like an afterthought because all of the focus and attention seems to be on Zelina? I don't know that she's an afterthought. I just think that she is part of the women's roster and she's not obviously seen as being like one of the major parts. She's not Becky. She's not Charlotte. She's not Sasha. She's not Bianca. I think she's like one of a few women, like a Zelina, dare I say, like a Doudrop, like what Liv was. Just kind of like they can always pull the trigger on a Carmella. They can always give her a title shot. They can always give her a feud. They've got a steady hand that can always, have a match. I think wasn't it when Sasha, so it was meant to be Sasha against Bianca. Sasha couldn't make SummerSlam, so they put Carmella in that spot. So, do you know what I mean? That's Carmella. Like, she's someone that you can turn to, and she'll be reliable. She'll do a job for you. Solid, but not really spectacular. Like, her promos aren't really spectacular. Her matches aren't really spectacular. But she's got a good look. I think she's well liked by Vince. In a relationship with Corey, which I should imagine, only helps. Because I think Vince likes Corey as well. So I kind of think she's not a big part. She's not like a major focus, but she's she does a job. She does a job. She's part of the division. There's lots of females that are like that, lots of males that are like that. So that's not a problem. But yeah, it's just Zelina's time. And I'm sure, you fast forward a year and might be that the spotlight is a little bit more on Zelina. But I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where, Zelina is, top of the division. She could have a championship run again, of course. But I can't see her being, having a long title reign, headlining pay-per-views, stuff like that. I don't really see that for Zelina. No disrespect. I mean, they might change the gimmick. They could change her gimmick, and it could be something that really catches fire. So she could, but just not in her current version. I don't see that. Days NXT is on BT Sport 2. Yeah, I've got it on, bud. I've got it on. Do you think Winter is coming as a debut? I would think so, but I can't think of a massive debut unless they've gone and got Braun Strowman. It doesn't seem like it's going to be Wyndham, does it? Seems like he's off doing his film, and maybe it's going to be we see him next year at some point, hopefully early next year after this film has finished filming. So yeah, I'm not sure who they could go and get, but I'm sure they could get a little something, but I wouldn't expect something massive. Rob Van Dam is going to return tonight, says Matthew. Is that the rumour that it is Rob Van Dam? Winter is coming. It's going to be Glacier is All Elite. He's already been in, hasn't he? I'm pretty sure he was in one of their early Battle Royals. I'm pretty sure he's already been in. All joking aside, I think he has. I think he is already been in one of their matches. Miss Clown said Zelina won most improved colouring of the year. It's a big. Was that Slammy? Was that a Slammy? Most improved colouring of the year. She sticks in the lines now. Fair play. Fair play. Hammer Studios, shout out to you. I hope you are well. I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm a bit stressed for the Johnny Gargano thing. But other than that, we're doing okay. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Hope you are well. We are a minute away from finding out what the flip is going on. That's what's happening. We are a minute away. Right, BT Sport 2, as James Chadwick said. That's what it's on tonight because of the cricket, which I believe England are doing awful in. Lol. Right, here we go. I don't know what we're starting with. As I said, hopefully we start with Johnny and we get some early answers. The new NXT logo looks like a rainbow. Bright puked on the letters, says Frank. You're stressed for the Johnny thing. I'm freaking out because I've been following Johnny's career for years. I'm not ready for this, says Taboy. Here we go. David said 24 for 3 so far. Yes. What we like to call in the industry a bad start. It's time. Who's fighting now? Nothing. We've only just started. It's a video package. We're just seeing War Games. Of course, there's other things going on tonight. But it's all about Johnny Gargano. A cage match is going to start the show. Is it really a cage match? LDD sun's going down and getting ready to show up in the mountains. How's it going there? LDTV, shout out to you, buds. It's going all right. We're going all right. Make sure no BT Sport logo cut off main event. Yeah. Do you remember that? Oh my God. Imagine like BT flipping. They did. Was that a week ago? Flip. Yeah, BT didn't show us the end of NXT last week. I forgot about that. Just lost the picture, and they just, like, with 5 minutes to go, they lost the picture, and they ended up just moving on to something else. Imagine if Johnny comes out. Johnny comes out, he's like, guys, I gotta be honest, I've been waiting about 6 months to tell you this. Obviously, Candice is having a kid. Well, me and Candice are having a kid, and I've never been more excited, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. And then the picture goes, I'm like, what? What? Oh my God, where's Twitter? What's going on? They better not do that to me. They better not do that. Oh. Cage match. What are we getting? I didn't even know of a cage match that was announced. Von Wagner. So is this Von Wagner versus Kyle O'Reilly? In a steel cage match. Oh, look at that. Kyle O'Reilly attacking from behind. Kyle O'Reilly. Weird that was. I didn't get this. I didn't understand this bit. Von Wagner failing to turn. Well, he successfully turned, I suppose. He definitely turned. But, yeah, he tried to beat him up and he failed. I don't get why he didn't succeed. I don't know why he didn't lay out Kyle O'Reilly. Wow, a hot start, man. I mean, not the start I wanted. I wanted Johnny Gargano, but I'm into this. Did we get an answer? I mean, like, I don't understand. Why is this so rushed? I'm sorry, has Kyle O'Reilly got to be somewhere? Has Kyle O'Reilly got to go somewhere? I don't understand. Why? Let me tell you what I saw. Tag match. These two lost. Von Wagner tried to turn on O'Reilly. Failed. O'Reilly managed to avoid the attack and ended up beating up Von Wagner. And then there might have been a little backstage thing. I can't quite remember where O'Reilly... I definitely saw something where O'Reilly said that he wanted a match. And now, boom, we're straight into this match. I've never known a feud move this fast. We've literally gone from, like, them being a tag team on Sunday to them splitting up and then going into a cage match on the Tuesday. I mean, there's been no, like, talking segment where, like, Kyle's like, I don't understand. There's been no reflection. There's been no, like, I don't understand. I thought we were partners. I thought you had my back. What happened to the friendship? Why did you do this to us? There's been none of that. It's just like, right, we're having a match now. We're having a match now. I must have, maybe it's all been, like, on social media or something. perhaps they spoke to Von Wagner, and perhaps this like back and forth has already happened, but it just seems really quick. Kyle's got to get a flight to Dynamite tomorrow. That's it. Tony Khan is sat in a car outside the Performance Center. Like this. He's got the door open. He's sat there like that. Tony Khan. Just waiting for Kyle O'Reilly to finish this feud. Go straight out the back, straight into the car, and off they go to Jacksonville. Kyle is leaving. There's no time for that kind of stuff. Why, well, I mean, there is. Because why could you not have him, like, come out and do a promo to start the show and then do the cage match later in the show? Like, there is time. So Daze thinks Kyle is staying. They don't have time for a proper feud. I don't think Kyle is staying. I'm wondering why it's. I don't understand. I mean, if Kyle is leaving, why put him on? Why, if Kyle is leaving, why did they bother putting him on the War Games? Why not use War Games to highlight a different tag team? I mean, I think Kyle's leaving, right? But why not highlight a different tag team at War Games? Why not go with some different superstars? Like, you could have split these two up last week and built towards a cage match for this week and had promos and everything. It's just a bit weird. Even if Kyle is like, if Kyle is leaving, it's just a bit weird that he was on War Games to start with, and yeah, this whole thing's a bit rushed. Let's go, Kyle chants. Johnny is the main event, but I think he's not going. He's just leaving to be there for the birth of his son. Give Kyle one last match? I don't know. Yeah, but again, as people said, if he's leaving and going to a different company, why would they care about giving Kyle one last match? I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? Like, it's hard to know what's going on. Let's go, Kyle. Chants by the crowd as Von Wagner has got Kyle in a bear hug. Kyle was part of the greatest faction in NXT history. He deserves a good send-off. My only problem with that is if he is going to say he's going to AEW, then why would you give him a spotlight on War Games and build him and showcase him off to your audience, knowing that he is about to go to a rival? Same can be said for Johnny. The exact same thing can be said for Johnny. I think it was a point that was made earlier by Wrestle with Andy. You know, would they do that? Would they do that if they're about to be going to AEW? Why would you use one of your big shows to promote a couple of wrestlers that are about to go to your competitor? I mean, that is not Vince. Vince does not do that. Yeah, I think Vate Ross Vate made that point as well. Vate Ross Vate said, called doing the favor, Kyle gone, Johnny stays. Kyle gone, Johnny stays. Von Wagner is teamed. I guess they wanted Von Wagner on the show. IX25 said Gargano has given us so many memorable moments. England, 29 for 4, Stokes out. Okay. Adam Cole get car for Kyle. Days, maybe Triple H and Shawn like him a lot. They're not booking. I mean, HBK is, but Triple H isn't, as far as I know. Triple H has been given a different assignment now. I mean, he had his heart attack. I think he is back at the head offices, but I don't know how much he's oversees NXT anymore, to be honest. And like, we know that Vince is a bit more involved. I don't know. I've said I cannot get a read on the Johnny one, and I find the Kyle one bizarre as well. So I can't just throwing out questions. I can't get a read of them. I don't know. Rachel said, Von Wagner's theme sounds like a generic theme of the WWE games. Has anyone grown to tolerate the Von Wagner name, says LSW. Has anyone grown to tolerate the Von Wagner name? It's all right. I'm not crazy about it. It's all right. We are just at commercial break at the moment. We're already 12 minutes into this show. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good start. I like it's cage match. Fair play. Don't get to see cage matches often, although this is our second in 2 days. But it's a good start. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner going at it inside a cage. Brilliant. They did the same with Aleister Black. What do you mean, Harry? James Chadwick said, we're not just concentrating and rushing the shots and playing silly shots, just not showing composure. We're ignoring that Mox was given a fair run with the Shield and heavily promoted in hopes of convincing him to stay. Maybe they're trying that with Kyle and Johnny. Well, that's a good point, actually. You know, have they done it to convince them to stay? I don't know. Are they trying to convince them to stay? I don't know. The Moxley thing was strange, wasn't it, in a way? You know, it's a really good point. The Moxley one was really weird. I mean, like, yeah, they promoted the Shield and they gave them a little final run, and then he ends up leaving and joining a rival company, a rival promotion. I suppose then, though, that was right at the start, so we didn't know how big of a threat AEW were going to be. So, I suppose, slightly different time. Kick coming in by Kyle. I wish Johnny had started the show. I also wish Johnny had started the show. Didn't WWE and Vince say they don't see AEW's competition? Maybe they weren't lying. Well, yeah, I mean, they did say that. They said that they don't see them as competition. I still don't think they want to promote their wrestlers, though. Honestly, if they're under the impression that Kyle and Johnny are about to leave and go to AEW, then I really don't think they're booking them on the show. I don't think they would do that. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you are giving Kyle quite a spotlight here, you know, in a cage match. And I think I'm right in saying that the NXT contracts only have a 30-day non-compete. So that would mean that in 30 days, if this is his last date and his contract is up, then in a month's time, like in early January, he can be going to AEW. Or again, though, perhaps they're thinking like, well, because of that non-compete, it's not like he's going to go to AEW on Wednesday. Like, we can give him the send-off because he was in Undisputed Era, you know. We can give him a proper send-off, and then, you know, in 30 days' time or whatever, if he goes to AEW, then so be it. You know, showcasing him here in this match isn't going to make him a bigger star. it's just not something that they really tend to do. If CM Punk and Bryan Danielson isn't moving the needle, then why would they care about Gargano and Kyle leaving? Because they know that they won't pull in crazy ratings. Leeds said, because they're petty is the answer. Because Vince is petty. Because to Vince, he doesn't want to give them any free promotion, doesn't want to give them any kind of push. If they're leaving him to go and join them, why give them anything at all? Why build them up in any way whatsoever? Kyle O'Reilly with some quick strikes. There's no non-compete clause if the contract runs out. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Flip. Well, if there's no non-compete and that means that Kyle can rock up at AEW whenever. Oh, it's hurting my head. It's hurting my head. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. Von Wagner gets slammed into the side of the cage. Robin said Vince doesn't care anymore. Knee drop by Kyle. I don't think that's breaking news, Heather. I'd quite happily have admitted that at any time. Kyle is coming. Winter is coming, says Austin. Low blow by Von Wagner. Low blow by Von Wagner. Into the side of the cage goes Kyle. Here we go, picks up, slams Kyle down. And there we go, Von Wagner wins. Wow. Von Wagner wins. I don't think that's the biggest surprise. But the ending was kind of interesting. Just like hurls him about, slams him down. It's a real dominant, clean victory for Von Wagner. It's kind of the same with Kevin Owens. Why are they putting him in the title picture if they know he's leaving? They're probably trying to convince him to stay, and maybe it's the same with Kyle and Gargano. Call of Duty boy said it's going to be super sad because Johnny is one of the people that made NXT popular. Rachel said, will Jon Moxley return to WWE after his contract is up in AEW, or will he re-sign? I think he'll re-sign, to be honest. I could see him coming back and going into the Hall of Fame with the Shield. I think they'll want to put the Shield in the Hall of Fame. And I think if you're doing that, you've got to have Jon Moxley. But I don't think they will do that until Moxley's time with AEW is finished. So if it means that his in-ring career is over, then they might look to do it. Kyle is being hung upside down. And the door is slammed into his face. And again by Von Wagner. Who had a better final match, Kyle or Cole? Another door being slammed in Kyle's face. What are they chanting? Yeah, I'd still like to know why he's done it. I'd still like to know what the motivation is, because I don't know. Right, they're talking about War Games. War Games. Kevin Owens has also gone from looking stupid in segments with Tozawa to now getting put in the main title picture. Meltzer has said Owens is in the triple threat to be the one that gets pinned. Oh, here's that. This is that promo. Right now, I'm beat up. I'm sore. I got a lot on my mind. I want to tell you everything. Right now, I'm beat up. I'm sore. I've got a lot on my mind. I want to tell you everything. These are the words of Johnny. Johnny Gargano addresses his future. Right, backstage, there's Bron Breakker live next. They are making us wait, aren't they? Did you hear about Adam Cole's response to the fans saying they're not happy with his booking? He said that we'll be very happy with the direction I'm going in. I didn't hear that, actually. I heard him say that he was hoping to get a good reaction from the fans, but the reaction he's received has been overwhelming or something along those lines. I hope Johnny re-signs. He will get lost in AEW. Kyle will be fine because AEW doesn't have many main event level tag teams. Imagine Johnny says he's re-signing. The pop will be huge. Mike said, I think Johnny is staying. Kyle could turn up next week at Winter is Coming, says Daniel. Days, no matter what happens, tonight we need to end the show with Bron Breakker laying them all out. Yeah, I just can't. I can't get a read of it. Can't get a read of it, and it bothers me. It's also a little bit exciting. It would be it would be better if I couldn't get a read of a title match. That would be better. That'd be more enjoyable. Not I can't get a read of if one of the best wrestlers in NXT is leaving or not, or if one of the best wrestlers in NXT is healthy or not. I mean, the way that he says, I've got a lot on my mind, I'm going to tell you everything. I don't know if I'm just reading too much into it, but it kind of seems like there's something going on. Seems like there's something happening. We haven't been seeing Johnny much in NXT 2.0 until recently. And, again, maybe I'm just reading a lot into it. I hope that, it's not a health thing. I mean, the fact that he's been wrestling, the fact that he's, had that match and everything, and he looked good in it as well, would sort of suggest everything's okay. But, I don't know. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. I know people would want Gargano versus Bryan in AEW. Let Him In said, Days, Johnny and Kyle are leaving on the same night, ? Don't know. Robin said, don't tell me he's retiring. Honestly, I think Johnny is going to be a father with his family and take a break. There's a lot of dream matches Gargano can go and have in AEW, and that intrigues me a lot. I just don't see WWE hyping up this announcement just so he can say he's leaving, says Philip. It's a really good point. It's a really, really, really good point. I do agree with that. Days, Johnny should go to Impact. Johnny is probably going to leave to give the spotlight to younger guys. Joseph said, you are reading into it too much. What do you think it is then, Joseph? Tell me what it is so that I don't have to read into it anymore. Because I don't want to read into it anymore. I'm very much at the point now where I'm just going to wait and see what he says. I just don't see WWE hyping an announcement so he can say he's leaving. It's all a work. John isn't leaving. Rather go AEW than preferential treatment of WWE. I'd be amazed if he said that. Erase your mind. If he came out and went, look, I want to tell you guys everything, I'd rather go to AEW. I would. There's not much that would surprise me. That would surprise me. I've thought about it, guys. I'm going to go to AEW. I think Johnny will say he's leaving, but not in terms of going to another company, just sitting out for a bit, and then he'll make a decision down the line, whether it's main roster or AEW. Here's Haaland and Joe Gacy. The outcome of the match at War Games is not more important than our bigger vision. Haaland. People unfairly judge him for the size of his body. Official in-ring debut of Haaland next week. Together we can change the world, says Joe Gacy. Right, here's Bron Breakker. Undertaker, Kane versus HBK Triple H would be awesome, says Christopher. I bet you Ciampa comes out during Gargano's speech, dressed as Candice. That'd be cool. I'd love it if Ciampa came out dressed as Candice, came running down and just grabbed Johnny and started giving him kisses. And Johnny just looks confused. I'd like that. I'm sorry, but those two are just weird, says Daniel. Is Haaland the new Festus? Yes. Bron Breakker is in the ring. Almost a quarter of the way through the show. It is flying, and it has been a very, very good show. Okay. Bron Breakker said, I've got nothing but the utmost respect for Team Black and Gold. You beat me at Halloween Havoc. I pinned you at War Games. That makes us 1-1. Okay, here's Diamond Mine. Bron Breakker. Right, we've got the Creed brothers, and we've got Ivy Niall. What are the odds that Bron can stand still during a promo and not bounce around like a kangaroo? He does pace around, doesn't he? Why is he calling people by their wrong names? He's calling him Bron Breakker. He's calling him Robert Strong. You got 2 seconds to get to the point. There's a big Johnny banner in the crowd, look. Okay. So are they trying to make Bron versus Johnny? Bron versus Roderick. Yeah, where is he? He's built like his uncle. Bron Breakker combines the personalities of Steiner, Lesnar, and Triple H. Do you accept the challenge? As far as your challenge goes, I accept. So, Bron Breakker accepts the challenge. He's going to face Roderick Strong at some point. I don't know if it's later in the show. Who's coming out now? Briggs and Jensen are coming out now. Briggs and Jensen making their way out. He does give me Mojo vibes with how energetic and passionate he is when he speaks. This guy is the new Mojo. I get them vibes. Briggs and Jensen versus the Creed brothers. Briggs and Jensen versus the Creed. What have I missed? You've missed a cage match between Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly, which resulted in Von Wagner winning. He then slammed the door in the face of Kyle O'Reilly. And then you missed Bron Breakker coming out, calling out Tommaso Ciampa. Diamond Mine came out and basically challenged him to a match against Roderick Strong, and that's where we are. Bron, big money match. Bron hasn't done anything, says Vin. Yeah, it's going to be... I mean, I'm just waiting for the Johnny thing, to be honest. I'm just waiting for the Johnny thing. It's probably not going to be for another hour. But they've definitely got people's interest today with that Johnny thing. I think there's a lot of people. I would imagine there's a lot of people that probably left NXT and haven't been watching like 2.0. I would imagine there's a lot of people that might tune in for this to see what's happening and see what's going down. There's a lot of affection for Johnny, a lot of affection, and as I said, I think even those people that have kind of left NXT don't watch its current incarnation. I would imagine they're stopping by to check out this week's episode. Should imagine the ratings. I mean, the ratings will be very interesting. I think they'll be quite good. Days on Raw, SmackDown, whenever there's a steel cage match, the cage lowers down with wires, but on NXT, it's just split in fours instead of lowering. I think it's an idea to do that, says Bert. I think it's size, to be honest. I don't think they've really got the height. So in arenas, when it's Raw or SmackDown, they've obviously got an arena, and they've got like a big space. But here, I don't think they've got enough height, really, to have a cage above the ring and actually lower it. So that's why it kind of comes down that way instead. I'm kind of sad. I'm not ready for this Johnny thing. I remember first watching NXT, Johnny became my favorite. Now he's my favorite male wrestler of all time. Where is the Christmas tree? I don't know. That's on the other stream. All of these streams are like set up individually. I don't set them up each, like, you know, every day. They're all just saved, so it's there. It's still there, but it's just over on the Raw stream. What do you do after the streams? Do you relax and eat and get ready for the next stream, etc.? Yeah. I live my life setting up streams, creating thumbnails, doing research, and just getting like stuff done, basically. I mean, like, after this stream, I've got to set up the AEW stream, and I've got another 2 football streams to set up over on the football channel. I haven't even made the graphics for them yet or anything, so I've got to do the thumbnails for those football ones. So no relaxing. Bron Breakker has done good things ever since he debuted. He got a title match. That is good. Some superstars like Cena got a title match after 2 years. Right, Briggs and Jensen versus the Crafid brothers. The Crafid brothers. I do love the Crafid brothers. Great team. Imperium's music hits. How many hours do you sleep a day? My sleep's a mess, to be honest. I mean, like, I try to get a good sleep. I reckon my average is about 6. But there's times, certainly of a weekend, where I'll only get like 3. But then, as a result, I will try and get some extra sleep. I will try and find some time where I can just, like, go to bed and just not have to set an alarm. Right, Imperium have come out, and they haven't said anything. They're just standing and watching on that kind of, like, weird platform. Crowd making a little bit of noise. Nicole said, I wasn't going to watch, but I forgot about the Shaman. Shaman, yeah, we've not had the Shaman yet. Still waiting to find out more about the Shaman. The crowd like Imperium. The Shaman is going to be a repackaged Elias. The crowd loves Imperium. Well, there's certainly... I don't know if they love Imperium or if they love the theme song. Creed Brothers tagged in. Big clubbing blow. Big splash. So we are seeing Briggs and I still don't know who's who. Briggs and Jensen against Creed Brothers. Creed Brothers should win this. Sort of an interesting match, actually, because these are 2 new tag teams. Very different tag teams. Briggs and Jensen have been getting some vignettes. Creed Brothers look like they're going to be a big deal. So it's sort of hard to know how this is going to end, to be honest. It's quite an interesting matchup. This is a really good developmental matchup. Oh, the tag was made, but one of the Creed brothers wasn't holding the tag rope. So the referee just made him do it again. Have we seen that ref? I don't know if... Is that a new ref? But that ref's taking no nonsense, man. If you want to get tagged in, you need to be holding the tag rope. I'm just watching this ref now. Up, over, slam down. In the corner. Good work by the Creed brothers. Cold and snuggled under a cover. These guys weren't good enough for AEW, so they put them in NXT, says Jonathan. Adrian said the only member of Imperium is Volta. Do you think AEW will get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens when both their deals are up? I don't know what's left for Owens after Big E and Rollins feud. I don't know. I think Vince really likes Sami. I think Vince likes Kevin as well, but I feel like Kevin's done, man. I think it feels like Kevin's had enough. 1, 2. Tag. Creed Brothers coming in. Just saw the Grizzled Young Veterans doing something. Did they steal the tag rope or something? It's a stretch muffler here. Kick out. I still don't know who these two are. I can't tell them apart. Big Strike, one of the... Right, so he hasn't got a tag rope. Is this tag rope going to be a factor? Look, he's trying to hold the tag rope and it's not there. I've never seen this before. I've never seen this. Tag's made, and look, the referee's like, you didn't hold the rope. How bizarre. Knocked in the 1, 2. And they win anyway? Oh my god, what is this? Briggs and Jensen win anyway. The Grizzled Young Veterans steal the tag rope. When have you ever seen a referee saying you weren't holding the tag rope? Like, that seed was planted earlier in the match. So the referee, I've never seen a referee point out that you weren't holding the tag rope before. It felt weird earlier in the match. And then it turns out they steal the tag rope. And the referee's like, you didn't hold the tag rope, you can't come in. But then that team ends up winning anyway. Wow. I mean, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, all I'll say is fair play to NXT. They're definitely giving me something I've not seen before. Can't remember seeing that before. That feels like something you would have seen in the NWA. Coming up next, we've got the new Duke Hudson. And we go to commercial break. Creed Brothers should have won. Days, you have a problem telling the difference between twins. Yep. These aren't even twins, are they? Certainly not identical twins. The crowd are still singing the Imperium theme. The new Duke Hudson. That was no way that was meant to happen. The Creed brothers flipped over during the 2 counts. Damn, that was bleeping weird. Do you think we will ever see a tag team as dominant as the Road Warriors were? Yeah. Yeah, I can't see why you wouldn't. Why would you never see a tag team as dominant as the Road Warriors? I think you will. I don't know that it's a tag team that's around right now. You might have to wait 50-odd years, but yeah, I think there will be. It's because it's a good story to tell, isn't it? Bold Hudson. Whatever happened to Vince wants to change the look of Cameron Grimes? Well, he has shaved his beard a little bit. I mean, we probably do need to go a little bit further than that, but... Six Scum 9 said the Shield DX Brothers of Destruction. Right, we are at commercial break. We are 45 minutes into the show. Shield are better than the Road Warriors. Right. Johnny is going to be the Shaman, says Zachary. Yeah, we've still got that to come, haven't we? Still got that to happen. Who is the Shaman? Who is the Shaman? What's happening in the women's division? We haven't seen any of the women yet. 45 minutes into the show, we haven't had any of that. They don't call it the Road Warrior Pop for nothing. Austin said, grizzled young veterans were better when they took themselves seriously. Fiend is the Shaman. Fiend is the Shaman. Sammy is going to go to another place because he got buried by Roman in seconds, says Call of Duty Boy. Steiner Bros was a hell of a team. We all know that Johnny is doing a pipe bomb to end the show, telling you to tune into Winter is Coming next week, where you will see me. That is exactly how I expect that to go. I expect him to start an AE dub chant. Here is XY on Quinn. Okay. He looks quite promising. Right, here is Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson's wearing a wig. Wade Barrett said Duke Hudson's looking sexier than ever. Looks like Ric Flair. I'm disappointed that the crowd haven't gone, woo! That's what I would do. If I sat there, I'd be like, woo! Nature boy, nature boy, nature boy, nature boy. What are they chanting? You look stupid. Oh, come on, NXT crowd. You look stupid is all we got. Blonde Hudson or Logan Paul. Here's Cameron Grimes. We are going to the moon. He definitely looks like Logan Paul now he's put that amateur wrestling headgear on. He does. I didn't expect this. A shaman is someone that remembers their past lives and is someone that can tell the future. They can also dream walk and heal people. They can see and talk to the spiritual world. Papa Shango is the shaman then. Could be the guy that I can't remember his name. The guy that played Papa Shango played Godfather. You can't handle losing. What you did was illegal. Is he wearing noise-cancelling headphones? Grimes is a good promo, isn't he? No holds barred. He said, let's do it again. But this time, let's do it no holds barred. What does Cameron Grimes get, though? It was hair versus hair last time. It kind of feels like there should be something in it for Grimes. Like, let's do it this time, no holds barred. If I win, you leave me alone now. We're done now. It's over then. Or something along those lines. That would have been nice. Just a little, I don't know. Like, Grimes has won. Just seems a bit weird that he's the one suggesting no holds barred. Right, we've got Jacket Time and Briggs and Jensen. Here's the grizzled young veterans. No holds barred. What will Grimes do? Like a pile driver or something? It's depressing. It's a little bit depressing that this is how they're using Kushida. Oh, look, that. There's Tian Sha in her new gimmick. Sleeping woman. In fairness, that will get over with me. If she just keeps popping up in the background, like trying to sleep. I can relate to that. Looks like they're saving Gargano for the main event. Yeah. Right, we got Carmelo. Carmelo Hayes. I wonder where this is. I don't know what this is leading to. I miss Carmelo's old theme, says to boy. Sleeping woman. Sleepy just woke up. Tian Sha looks really different, or is it just me? Nah. She looks the same to me. It's just that before she was like, you know, she had a chair. Now she hasn't got a chair. Like now she doesn't have a chair, and this is her in sleep mode. So, yeah. Sleepy Tian Sha. Sleepy Japanese girl equals win. If Grimes wins, he gets your live stream. Oh, he can have it. He can have it. I'll quite happily have a week off or so. As long as I can have it back after. With all the big signings, AEW has made in 2021 with Kyle Owens, Wyndham. Also coming in is their room for guys like Keith Lee, Cross, and John Morrison. Well, I mean, this is it, isn't it? I mean, they are getting quite full. So, you know, is there room? I mean, they will be able to maybe part ways with some talent that they don't think there is much more they can do with. You know, don't forget, they probably took a lot of people when they started that they maybe wouldn't normally have taken, dare I say. I mean, there wasn't, you know, their options were quite limited when they started. They had to they needed to build a roster with what was available. So now we're a few years down the road, they could maybe part ways with some of those wrestlers and bring in some better quality, dare I say. Days, 10 out of 10. Days, that was funny. Did Duke Hudson remind you of Khabib? No. You mean with, like, the big furry hat that Khabib wears? Do you hear Jake Paul, Tommy Fury cancelled? Yeah. I did hear that. I feel like she's going to be the female version of Orange Cassidy, says 1987 big fan. How did Tian Sha get that sleepy gimmick? I haven't been watching in the past few weeks. Dude, there was a weird... I think the last time we saw her, like, Boa did some... Like, her and Boa were doing something weird in a room. Someone opened the door, and I remember, like, Tian Sha and Boa were doing something a bit strange. Can't remember exactly what it was. But it was just like, I remember them going, oh, sorry. And they closed the door again. And then literally from that point, we didn't see her. And Boa now is the one that's running around saying that he's been, what's the word I'm looking for? Possessed. So Boa's now been possessed by this flipping 2,000-year-old spirit or whatever it is. And now that means that Tian Sha... The woman, she's just gone into sleepy mode. It's just so weird. Honestly. What a story. What a time to be alive. England 55 for 4 after 24 overs. Well, I would say that's going brilliant. What's going to happen to Indi and Dexter with Johnny leaving? Dexter will go off to being a silent killer on his own again, I would imagine. And Indi will be in that tag team with Persia Pirotta. Jake Paul is now facing Tyrone Woodley. Is that Tian Sha WTF? Okay, what's this? Right, we've got Grayson Waller. I'm already hanging out with someone. Who's she hanging with? Him. LA Knight. We're all about likes and views. There we go. LA Knight driving away. Quite a nice little car. Okay. Here's Lumis, actually. Talking of Lumis. So, Carmelo Hayes is in the ring with Trick Williams and Dexter Lumis making his way out. We was always really excited about Lumis, but then, like, he went into the comedy stuff. And he went in with, like, the whole The Way and the Indi Hartwell stuff. I would like to get back to Lumis being a killer. I would like to get back to Lumis, like... I don't feel that vibe anymore. Like, when he comes out, I don't feel like, oh, Lumis is gonna kill you. Lumis is gonna kill you. I'd love to get to that point with Dexter Lumis. Just have him come out and just put people away. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the crawling on the hands thing. I'm not sure I'm crazy about that. I did like it when he was doing it with Indi, though. Trick Williams seems to be quite intimidated by Dexter Lumis. Hayes isn't 100%. No, he's got his ribs bandaged. Halfway point. Get in your thoughts. Get in your scores for the halftime scores. Heather said, I don't understand why Eli Drake is still in NXT. To me, he would stick out like a sore thumb because he's older and an established wrestler, which is the opposite of what they want now. It's a good point. It's a good point. Perhaps he's just around in a bit of a... Perhaps he's just around in a bit of a kind of mentor position. Perhaps they know they need a little bit of star power because it's on USA Network. And, you know, he's got a bit of a following because he's obviously had a successful career. So perhaps they're thinking like, well, Vince ain't got no plans for him on the main roster. He's a great talker. He's definitely like an experienced head that can kind of help us out. I mean, I don't know, perhaps they lean on him a little bit. Kind of help some of these youngsters along. Perhaps he is a bit of a like mentor and it's just worth... Perhaps he's a bit like a Natalia, but for NXT. And the alternative is you bring him up to the main roster, but Vince ain't got really any interest in him on the main roster. Don't know. That's all I can think because it's a really good point. He is completely opposite to what they're looking for. 6, 7, 9 says Brendan. 6 said Legend Killer. 625 said J14. 625 says Brony. 775 says Adrian. 625. 6 says Hammer Studios. 625 says J14. 725 says Joseph. 6 says Hammer Studios. Days, do you like the Ruthless Aggression era? Do you believe Kane was a great world champion in 2010? Ruthless Aggression was cool. I think the longer it went on, the more it was fading for me. I don't actually know. With the Attitude Era, you can put a definite point on when it finished. I mean, it finished really at WrestleMania 17 because after that you get the Invasion, and that's kind of the conclusion of it. Do you know what I mean? Them battling WCW, and then WCW folding just before WrestleMania 17, and then you've got the rest of 2001 with the Invasion. It's all pretty much done by the end of the year, and that's it. 2002, 2003, we're going into Ruthless Aggression. But Ruthless Aggression, it's hard to pinpoint when that finishes. I think, now, I seem to recall there might have been a little thing on their Wikipedia page. I'm going to have a little look at that. But, yeah, I did like Ruthless Aggression. Kane's title reign in 2010, I'm not, like, crazy for. What I want to see is when they list Ruthless Aggression as ending. So they've got New Generation 92 to 97. Attitude Era 97 to 2002. And then it doesn't list Ruthless Aggression. Yeah, it doesn't list it as being like an era. It definitely is an era. But I don't quite know when you would say it ended. Wikipedia doesn't have anything listed on for it. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked the arrival of all those OVW guys. You know, seeing like Lesnar come in and Batista, and you've got Evolution, and obviously John Cena, and us like really moving away, and the product just slightly changing from the Attitude Era. I do. I think it was a decent time, a really, really decent time. And we go to commercial break. Ruthless Aggression finished in 2020 for me, says Austin. Ruthless Aggression finished in 2008 for me, says LSW. It's Lunch in the Ashes. Is it me, or does Lumis look like Stone Cold a little bit, says Rye. Ruthless Aggression era ended when the PG era began. Yeah, I mean, that one is like... I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know when the product was like PG. I don't think like the era thing is something that WWE has ever really... Yes, the Attitude Era and New Generation. Like, they do have these moments where they do give things like names, but I don't know that there's like... I mean, could you say there's a network era? I mean, like, when the network comes along in like 2014, I would say that was a massive moment. And like the fact that pay-per-views change, you know, and all of a sudden, like, pay-per-views just aren't what they were. Like, that's a big change for WWE. That's a I don't know if you could say that's a different era. It just gets a bit messy. It's not as clean as like Attitude and New Generation and all of that. It's a shame. It's a shame that they're not like... How cool would it be if like this was the last year of this current era and next year a new era was going to start? Like, how excited would we all be? I'd be excited. Red is the Shaman. What era would you say we're in now? The COVID era. Yeah, the COVID era. Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, that's probably not the era that WWE would choose. But I think it definitely is the era. I think this is, you know, it's massive disruption. I think, yeah, that's probably how you would define it. Lumis does remind me of Stone Cold. The glare, he looks a bit like him as well. Bunkers says, watching cricket after NXT. Max said, The Rock just won Movie Star of the Year. What year of Randy Orton do you prefer? Oh, that's a good question. What year of Randy Orton? Well, when Randy first came in, he was a bit green, wasn't he? It was kind of like he wasn't meant to be in Evolution, but then they put him in Evolution, and it really worked. But he needed that kind of stability, and he needed that guidance. So I would say, like, early it was quite rocky, but I liked it when he kind of left Evolution and went into, like, Legend Killer. I think that was cool. Seeing him, like, RKO Hogan backstage and going after The Undertaker. Like, that was really cool. That was a really good feud, actually. So I can't remember exactly what year that was, but I think that was just after Evolution. He went into Legend Killer, so I'd be around that time for Randy Orton. Michael, shout out to you. LSW said, here's how I define the eras: Golden Era, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, PG Era, Network Era, and COVID Era. It's kind of interesting. When would you say the PG era began? When does Ruthless Aggression era end and the PG era begin? 2019, 2010, Bold Randy scared me, said J14. Who do you think the Shaman is? I think Rob Van Dam is a really good shout. I feel like Rob Van Dam's a good shout. They have, I'm wondering if it might be the Godfather. I can't remember his name. The guy that plays Godfather, plays Karma, plays Papa Shango. He, you know, what Sonny was saying earlier about what a shaman is, kind of makes me think, like, could it be like a Papa Shango type thing? Because they have used, like, the $1 Million Man for a segment. So they could use, like, someone from that kind of era, that kind of golden era. early 90s. I mean, Papa Shango is about, what, 92? It'd just be a way of getting, like, an old character onto the show. I feel like Rob Van Dam's the favourite, but I'm just trying to think, like, who could be alternatives. That's not a bad alternative. This the old NXT, you'd go, nah, I can't see him doing it. But this NXT, could I see MSK messing around with Papa Shango? Yes, is the answer. I absolutely could. Lumis kicking out at Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo with a kick to Lumis. We got 49 minutes to go. Charles Wright, that's his name. Charles Wright, yes. You are Charles Wright. I would say Ruthless Aggression era ends in about 08. PG era runs from 08 to 13. Then Network era begins in 2014. I can kind of vibe with that. Bulldog by Lumis. In some cases, shamanism is a closed practice. It evolved from indigenous people. Shoulder up. Do you think Cena was always meant to be this generation's Hogan? No. Not always. I know that, like, for example, even during, you know, when he comes out and he goes, ruthless aggression. That version, that kind of prototype version of Cena was not connecting with the fans. And there's that famous story that he tells. It might have been in that Ruthless Aggression Series 1. But there's the story that he tells where he knows he's on the verge of, like, getting cut. He knows that he's in trouble because he's just not connecting. And, like, he's been told that, like, you know, the end's coming. And he's on the back of the bus because they're doing a tour. I don't know if it was in Europe. I think it was, actually. And he's on the back of the bus and he's doing his freestyle thing. And Steph hears him. And Steph speaks to him and's like, do you think you'd be able to do that in the ring? And he's like, yeah. And it's from that you get Thugonomics Cena. And really, it's Thugonomics Cena that catches people's attention. It's Thugonomics Cena that really gets things going. So, definitely no way was he ever meant to be Hogan, like the new Hogan from the start. Because when he was just the prototype, I think it wasn't working. He hadn't found his groove. So, yeah, I think that saved him, like the hip hop stuff and him being Thugonomics. Right, here we go. What's this? Here's the Shaman. It's Riddle? Riddle? I'm going to put my Shaman hat on. God, they had to travel really far to see Riddle. Stallions? This is weird, isn't it? Riddle makes sense. Never thought it would be him. Riddle? I miss Stallion Pete. It's cool. That's cool. I don't mind it being Riddle because Riddle's a big star. Well, you know, he's on. He's one of the hottest things on Raw at the moment. I really thought it was going to be like an old legend. Yeah, I was right. I was right there with you for Rob Van Dam. You guys have been at the top. I don't know where this is going, but I'm intrigued by it. I'm guessing he's just going to give him some words of advice, some words of encouragement or something. What's in the bag? Bro. Has it now turned into what's in the bag? That's like NXT's like version of what's up, isn't it? Bro. What's up? Right, we got Toxic Attraction. That was odd, said David. Here's JC Jane, Gigi Dolan. Okay. Riddle and MSK is a good faction. Awful attraction. Awful attraction. Awful attraction. The egg turned into a bag. That made Riddle look creepy. If you're listening, you're currently living in the Days era. Oh my god. Sexy era, though. Riddle joined Mandy by returning to their roots. Yeah, that's it now. No more arcade, bro. He's turned his back on Raw. They're going to make MSK a 3-person faction, which might not be that bad. I mean, I don't know that it's going to get Riddle more over than being with Randy Orton, but MSK being like a 3-man group and Riddle being like, you know, an official leader of it could be really interesting. I mean, they're clearly not going to be doing that, but just saying. They kind of do all work very well together. He kind of fits into that group really well. Is there anyone in WWE or AEW that you can see breaking out into a Cena or huge star, or are they just past that? It's difficult to say because, like, I think that is exactly what they're looking for. I don't know. To be honest, I don't see anyone at the moment, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, I really like Odyssey Jones. I really, really like Odyssey Jones. And the obvious answer is Bron Breakker. But right now, I'm not totally sold. Like, right now, I can see that he's got talent. I can see that he can talk and he can have great matches. Like, he's got a lot of what you would want to see. But I just don't know. Can I see him, like... I can see him going on to be a Big E. I can see him going on to be a Drew. I can see him going on to be like a Bobby. I can absolutely see Bron Breakker doing that. Can I see him being Roman Reigns? Can I see him being John Cena? I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I don't think I can see him going on and doing that. I mean, he could, but I don't. Right now, I don't see it. I can see him getting to the top. I can see him being a champion. I can see him being a WWE champ, Universal champ multiple times. But being the face of the company, I don't think I see it. Not at the moment. Maybe my opinion will change, of course, as we see more of him and he kind of settles into it. I mean, he's not been around very long still. But no denying that he's going to go right to the top. I absolutely believe that. But I love Odyssey Jones. I mean, Odyssey Jones has got, like, big, bubbly personality. He is absolutely huge as well. He can talk. I mean, match-wise, it doesn't matter, does it, in all fairness? As long as you can get by, that's all you need to do on the main roster. People used to say that John Cena only had 5 moves. So, as long as Odyssey Jones has got 5 moves, he'll be fine. So, there's people that you can look at, but I don't know that there's anyone that you go, yeah, it's them. It's them. It's that person. That's the next John Cena. That's the next Roman Reigns. Here's Indi and Persia. When I got here, it was all about the engagement. I need you 100%. You need to leave the love at home. Here's Johnny. Right, we've got a lot going on. That's what we've got. We've got a lot going on. But do you know what we've got? My new favourite tag team. That's what we've got. My absolute new favourite tag team. Dancing Girl and Peacock Woman. Dancing Girl and Peacock Woman. Pretty much everything I love about pro wrestling. Right there. I hope they win. I hope Dancing Girl and Peacock Woman win. The woman in the background was just like, that was all she was doing. That was amazing. I'm pretty sure they're called the Goats. That's what I'm calling them. Awful Attraction versus the Goats. That was some awkward dancing. I don't know why, but them dancing just made me laugh so hard, says Jay. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Guys, a lot of people always ask me, do you simp after Toxic Attraction? Do you, like, simp for them? And the answer is, absolutely not. Can't stand them. I wish they'd flipping leave. I totally simp for that other team. I am going to quit YouTube. I'm not going to be streaming anymore. I am going to be starting simp fan accounts for that tag team right there. The Goats. Look, still moving around in the background. I don't know why, but I'm looking at her top. It looks like James Ellsworth. That one with the gold. Can you see in the middle? It's actually a tiger when you look quite close, but from a distance, I was seeing James Ellsworth. I don't know why. She's got a tiger here. And from a distance, I swear, it looks like James Ellsworth. Days, you should simp for Elektra Lopez. Nah, she's dead to me now. She got married, didn't she? Right. Headlock by one of the Goats. We've got 35 minutes to go. How can you not simp for Toxic Attraction? Says to Boy. Listen to Boy, I've said before, they're all yours, mate. They are all yours. I wish it was James Ellsworth. That would have been better. Imagine if their gimmick is they're both massive fans of James Ellsworth. That would be the greatest tag team ever. And of course it would lead to an eventual segment where they get to meet James Ellsworth. And the heels could be like, we've got a surprise for you. He's here. And they're like, oh my God. And then they bring out some loser that's not James Ellsworth. Oh, that'd be so good. I hope someone from WWE is watching this. I don't ask for much, but all I want is I just want a tag team, and their gimmick is they simp after James Ellsworth. Give me what I want. Once Mandy loses that dead animal from around her body, then this group will be fire, says Vin. Collides into one of the goats to, yeah, look. Kick out. Well, I can't hear what they're chanting, but the crowd are chanting something. Is it "Let's Go Toxic"? Are they? Let's go toxic. Toxic suck. Hey, that was a good move, man. Yeah, that was nice. She just drove JC Jane down. Look at that. Man, that should be a finishing move. Here we go. Here's the James Ellsworth lover. Nice drop kick. I loved how she ran it. She hit the drop kick. 1, 2. Look at her screaming her head off. My God, I love this woman. Roll up. Oh, neck breaker. She hit a drop kick and it seemed like she couldn't believe it and she like ran away. She hit a drop kick. She's like, ah! 1, 2, 3. Ah, boo! God. Flipping 8. Awful attraction. They ruin everything that's good. Who's the most hated heel in wrestling history? Maybe the Sheik? It's probably going to be like a foreign heel, because back in the day, it was an easy way of getting heat. You know, if you had like the evil foreigner. Fritz von Erich pretended to be German. I don't actually think he was German, but he pretended to be German just after the war. I mean, can you imagine the heat that was getting? So I would say it'd be one of those. One of those kind of heels that was like... The Russian guys used to get mad heat as well during like the 80s. Sergeant Slaughter got death threats, didn't he, for WrestleMania 7? If there's anyone out there that wants an opportunity, then bring it on. We are Toxic Attraction. Cora Jade. Cora, Days, it doesn't make sense that Riddle is the shaman because in shamanism you smoke and try different herbs, including mushrooms. I'm pretty sure Riddle has got a history of smoking. You're not the one. Okay, who's coming out now? Raquel Gonzalez is coming out. Raquel Gonzalez is coming out with a chair. You can't skate chance. Do you like Britt Baker? I like Britt Baker. Dave Sent said, I would say Sergeant Slaughter was the most hated heel. Check Rey Mysterio's tweets. Journal entry for Tiffany. They say that you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, but I wasn't because silver is so ratchet. Rey Mysterio. What is Rey Mysterio saying? Is he saying I simp for Toxic Attraction? And of course, I ended up on Team USA. I'm a solo star. What's it say? Remember the date, December 9th. I'm going to reveal some exciting news. When's that? Okay. Hey, it's Tony. He's got Peter Poppins' mouthpiece. Peter Poppins' mouthpiece. Here's Andre Chase. Professor. Next week, meet me in the middle of the ring and I'll show you who the star is. You did get cut off. Here are Legado del Fantasma. Flipping out. Looks like Elektra Lopez has forgot to put a top on. I feel like she's walking out going, oh man, I forgot something. I've definitely forgot something. Escobar versus XY Zion Quinn. Dunn needs to tell Tony to shut up, mate. What happened to Lash Legend? Someone took mercy on us. That's what happened to Lash Legend. Hopefully she's going to be repackaged as Sleepy Woman 2. Escobar. There we go. XY Zion Quinn is winning. Days, is Sammy a face now? Sammy who? Sammy who? Sami Zayn? I don't think so. Ha ha ha, they just cut off Andre Chase. Hello, Days. Was Bobby Lashley versus Amos a great match? Well, it was a tag match. Bobby tried to suplex Amos, but he's too heavy. Wouldn't that be a great match if they had a singles match? What, Bobby versus Amos? I mean, yeah. It would be an interesting match, and you could build it up and whatever, but the jury's out a little bit on how well Omos can actually wrestle. So we need to see what he's like as a wrestler. Certainly feels like they're teasing a split between Omos and AJ. Definitely feels like that's coming towards an end. So we might start getting some of them matches now where Omos faces people on his own. So, yeah, I think 2022 could be a big year for him. In all fairness, every year's a big year for him. Do your parents get woken up when you stream? No. Sami Zayn. Is Sami Zayn a face now? No, I don't believe he is. XY Zion Quinn is next. Come on. I'm pretty sure his tweet has got something to do with 2K22. December 9th is the same night as the Game Awards, where they reveal games for 2022. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really expecting much from that Rey Mysterio thing. It could be like a new line of shirts or something. Do you believe Vince is the greatest heel of all time? Do I think Vince is the greatest heel of all time? It depends on how you're measuring it. Is Vince the greatest heel in regards to the money that he generated? You couldn't say yes. Like, the amount of money that he generated as a heel, like, he was the opposite of Stone Cold, you know. Would Stone Cold have been as successful if it wasn't for, you know, the fact he was, like, standing up to the boss, the evil boss, Vince McMahon? You could say no. You could argue no. And you could argue that WWE's fortunes would not have been as great if it wasn't for the heel Mr. McMahon, so... Raquel Gonzalez telling Cora Jade to take it easy because she's getting a bit carried away. Here's Kaylee Ray. I think you might need this more than I do after War Games. Cora Jade said something. They just cut her off as well. They love cutting off wrestlers. They love it. Yeah, so in regards to money that Vince made, I would say definitely. In regards to heat, I think there's worse. I don't know that Vince was getting death threats. Here's XY Zion Quinn. Von Wagner is the greatest heel of all time. Days, I saw your tidbit of G. Hardy zombing off in the crowd and word on his condition and whereabouts. Well, the only update is that Matt Hardy sent a message out. So Matt Hardy sent a message out saying, I might as well just read it. Matthew Hardy. I can't find him, actually. Where is he? There he is. Matt Hardy. Wow, there's a lot of... I'm just looking at this. He is going off, man. There's a lot of stuff that he's saying. Matt Hardy's Twitter seems pretty wild. What also I heard was him saying that Jeff Hardy is safe and he can't say really any more than that. So, I don't know. This is really... Wow, I'm just looking at, like, he is going off at people. There's a little video thing. Let people live their lives is the title of it. Then there's a link to Twitch stream. The rant was on fire. Looks like he's had a rant on the Twitch stream. And then there's just some swearing where he's going off on people. You are an effing idiot. You obviously don't have any life experience or you wouldn't have responded with such ignorance. I will and would never go online for advice. I live in the real world. I listen to professionals. I believe in science. I do what's best for me and my family. Flip, man. I don't know. It's all kicking off on the Matt Hardy Twitter. I'd love Pete Dunne to walk past a lecture and say, your knockers are hanging out, mate. Your knockers are hanging out, mate. Sort yourself out. I think WWE 2K22 will have a showcase mode. Dude, did they put a Black Panther necklace on XY Zion? I don't know if it was a Black Panther necklace, but there was a big thing. 18 minutes to go. Do you appreciate the amount of effort that Vince has put into making... Jesus, WWE Rules, are you Vince's burner account? What's going on? Are you actually Vince McMahon sat in there? Are you sat there as Vince and your username is WWE Rules? I'm going to call it. God damn. I don't want people to know it's me. I'll call myself WWE Rules. WWE Rules. Oh, it's been taken. WWE Rules 8828. God damn. Days, do you think Vince is the greatest heel ever? Do you think that I don't get the recognition I deserve? What was your question? Do you appreciate the amount of effort Vince, has put into making fans happy? Do you find it disrespectful that more fans don't trust him? Well, Vince, I do appreciate the amount of effort that you have put into making the fans happy. And I do find it disrespectful that more fans don't trust you. So, secret safe with me. The cameraman seems a bit distracted. Well, we've gone to commercial break. Is this this might be the last commercial break? This Johnny segment's... I mean, he's still going to get time, of course, you know. It's only a promo. Not going to need half an hour for a promo. But, yeah, I mean, we're down to 16 minutes. By the time we get back, we'll probably be down to, 13 minutes. Then we've got to wrap this match up. Johnny's probably going to get about 8 minutes. Fans don't trust him because all of the great talent that he has buried. Don't read that, Vince. Don't read that. It's lies, Vince. I mean, WWE Rules. I just want you to know, WWE Rules, you are welcome here anytime. Please don't future endeavor me. No one will give a secret away like that. Have you ever done a WWE year in review video, maybe going back through all the pay-per-views with your scores and what you thought, etc., etc.? Nah, I mean, I was talking about that the other day. I do love, year in review videos. They're just so hard to do because, obviously, it takes so long. You have to go through every show, everything, and... really, the best way of doing it would be to keep track of things as you're going through the year. And then at the end of the year, you've got a list of your best matches, list of your best shows, Do you know what I mean? Like, now, to go back through everything would just be a flipping nightmare. So, no, I never have. I'm not organised enough. I need to get a bit more organised. 60 for 5 in the cricket news. Well, that is going perfectly to plan. Perfectly to plan. That is exactly where we wanted to be. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Let's go XY Zion Quinn. No chance. That's what you've got. Right. Santos Escobar charging over. I'm watching NXT 2.0. Shout out to you, dudes. Legend killer. Primo said, do you think we're leaning towards Gargano staying? Maybe they've come to a deal. If he stays, he gets his old theme song back. Do you think he turned around and he was like, all right, I'll stay? But only if you give me Rebel Heart back. If you give me back Rebel Heart, I'll stay. Do you reckon it was that? Do you reckon that was what they've been debating for months? And they've finally gone, all right, fine. You can have it. Days, you should be like Jim Cornette. He wrote everything down over his whole career. Pope and Butler partnership now. Yep. Just going to need something for the bowlers to work with, aren't we? So, like, England needs to get about 250. I mean, we need another 200-odd runs. Did you enjoy... Did you enjoy the Monday Night WWE TNA War? Why do you believe TNA failed when they had Flair, Hogan, Foley, Joe, Styles, Angle, Booker T? I just think that the product, it was seen as being like relying on the old timers. Like, yeah, they definitely had talent that was coming through that they were trying to showcase, but they did rely too much on those names. And I think, like, you would tune in, like, if you're a fan of those people, you would tune in, but I don't think they were doing a good enough job of getting you to stay. So I think the strategy is fine. I think the strategy, you know, right, we'll bring in Hogan, we'll bring in Foley, we'll bring in Booker T and whatever, because that'll get eyes on the product. Like, I think that's absolutely fine. And in a way, it's kind of what AEW do. I mean, look, they've got Arn Anderson, they've got Tully, they've got Jake the Snake, they had DDP around for a bit. Like, they've also had legends to try and bring eyes on the product. The difference is, though, AEW have been a lot more focused on their own talent and building their own talent and really having it as front and center, to the point whereby if you tune in, there's a better chance that you'll want to stick around. With TNA, you could tune into that for Hogan, Booker T and whatever, but it just seemed like the lunatics were running the asylum. Just seemed like the actual booking of the shows. I didn't tune in, but all I kept hearing about was how bad the shows were. And you just kept, like, hearing about, like, things that had gone wrong. Or TNA just got a real reputation for being a really awful wrestling promotion. Maybe not to the people that watched it regularly and enjoyed it and saw AJ Styles and saw Samoa Joe and whatever. But there was just so much. I mean, like the Jeff Hardy main event, the Charmel match. There was just like a few storylines. There was I remember the Dudley Boys in like an electrified steel cage, and they were literally during this cage match grabbing a hold of it, having to like shake themselves to pretend they were being electrocuted. I just remember like seeing reports and people just laying into like how bad it was. And that just does damage. Like, if you become known for like bad wrestling, you become synonymous with like bad shows, cringy moments. I mean, you lose the wrestling fans. I mean, you're done, aren't you, really? But yeah, I mean, in a way, I suppose you could say they didn't put enough of a spotlight on their own talent. They didn't use those legends to get newer stars over. But they definitely did build some. You can't say they didn't. They definitely did. Brass Knucks. Was she trying to distract? Was she trying to get Quinn disqualified? So she gives XY Zion Quinn Brass Knucks. Zion is struggling to understand why did Elektra Lopez do that. She gave him Brass Knucks. Do you think Ivy Niall goes into restaurants with those chains around her neck? Do you think she pops into shops? Doesn't she set off like the security? Right, we've got 8 minutes. 8 minutes. I'm glad Escobar won. He deserves it. There's an overrun tonight. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm just seeing Diamond Mine and Carmelo Hayes. Zion Quinn looks like your average creator wrestler on WWE 2K games. TNA created some amazing things like the Ultimate X and Lethal Lockdown, but did make too many mistakes. So many mistakes. Next week, we've got that no-holds-barred match between Logan Paul and Cameron Grimes. There's Candice. Oh, what's this gonna be? Candice is backstage. Right. Johnny Johnny go bye-bye. Is it? Is it? That's the question. I love Candice. I'm so happy to see her, says Austin. Candice and Poured Me. Is that what it's called? Is the dog called Poured Me? Right. Well, let's see. Let's see how this plays out. Johnny will get main show spot. Is that yeah? I just don't think they'd give him this spotlight if he was leaving. I do agree with people. And this feels big, unless he's going away to make his mind up about. Unless he says, I don't know what's next. My full focus is on my family, and it's like he's walking away. And then, you know, down the road in about 6 months' time, he turns up in AEW. Maybe it's something like that. Please don't go, Johnny, says Harry. Poured May. Overrun NXT finishes at 3:15. Wow. Well, this is getting 20 minutes. I'm telling you, it's all a work. Someone's going to come down, interfere in the promo, lead into a new feud. Is Johnny wearing a salmon suit? He should wear salmon like Mark Henry. That is the best retirement speech ever. I'm not ready for this, says Taboy. NXT made a huge mistake with not making Candice Women's Champ. Right. It's an 8-minute overrun, says Austin. It's only an 8-minute overrun. That makes a bit more sense. I was like, what's he going to say for 20 minutes? Build into UFC 269 this weekend. Harry said, I'm not crying, you are. Expect to see Johnny on SmackDown or Raw soon. He'll announce it tonight, and then someone will come down for his last feud. I love how one of Mark Henry's most popular things is the salmon retirement suit. Mattel need to make that figure. We need Mark Henry in the salmon suit. That's the figure that Mattel need to make. Right, we're waiting to go. I'm looking forward to UFC 269. It's going to be great. Do you honestly believe the Summer Punk was one of the greatest runs? Did you enjoy his match with Cena? I did, yeah. I thought Summer Punk was good. His match with Cena is an absolute classic. An absolute classic. Just pulled Kaylee Ray Maelstrom card. Very nice. I don't know what that means, but very nice. Didn't they give Ambrose a full network pay-per-view send-off? Yeah, that was pointed out earlier. I don't think he told him he was going to like AEW though. And again, I don't think if Johnny is going to AEW, he would have told them. If he's going to AEW, I don't think you get this now. It's going to be Ambrose lied to Vince and said he was just going to go to the movies. Next week, Boa. Johnny Wrestling. Here we go. Johnny Wrestling. Don't go, Johnny, don't go. There's some things in life that just should never happen. And Johnny, oh my God, he's getting upset. Oh, he's getting upset. Don't you dare get upset, Johnny Gargano. Oh, what's happening? No. No, 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 no. Don't you dare leave. He takes a deep breath. I mean, if he's about to leave, we shut the doors. There's no need to carry on. And I'm not even talking about NXT. I'm talking about WWE. Just shut the doors. It's done. It's over. The party's over. It was a good run. Did well since the 1960s, but it's done now. If Johnny's about to walk away. Look, he's come out and he's looking all emotional. If this is a work, it's being done brilliantly. I hope it is. I hope it's a work. God, I've never wanted to see someone get attacked in so much in my life. And you know that flipping Tommaso Ciampa's going to come out and we're all going to start bawling. Johnny Wrestling, chants from the crowd. Here we go. Heartbreak told me I can go as long as I want. He says, I can go as long as I want. Heartbreak. I love how he called him Heartbreak. Perhaps he's going to announce he's sticking around for another 5 years. Please don't go. Please don't go. Please don't go, Chance. I want to live in this moment. He says, I've got one regret, and that's that I didn't enjoy this more. I was always thinking about, was my match good enough? Was my promo good enough? Was I good enough? I wanted to give you wrestling that you could be proud of, and I hope I did. I was told in 2015 I would never be in NXT. But because of William Regal. Wow. He says, you lot chanted Johnny Wrestling so loud every week they brought me back. He did a dart match against Apollo Crews in 2015. He was told at the tryout that he would never make it to NXT. But William Regal put him in a dart match. Man, it's amazing, isn't it? I never knew that. Video games, action figures. He says that he used to be a shy, chubby, 8-year-old wrestling fan. I doubt myself constantly, and I'm doubting myself now. The only place that I've ever felt important and special is in this ring with you guys. It feels really honest. Look, they're standing and applauding as Johnny is... He says, I've been asked why I'm in NXT for so long, and it's because I truly love this place. We love you, Chance. I feel like this needs to be at Full Sail. Hunter and Sean mean the world to me. So he's shouting out a load of people that work behind the scenes. This is my family. He's either leaving for the main roster or he's about to double down and say he's NXT for life, says Corvid. He isn't leaving, says Justin. You'll never fail if you bet on yourself. I don't know what my immediate future holds. He says, in February, I'm going to start the most important job of my life. Because I'm going to be a dad. Are they chanting daddy wrestling? Oh, baby wrestling. Baby wrestling. Listen, I'd tune into that. WWE baby wrestling. Oh, hello, what's this? It's shouting. Chair shot by Grayson Waller. Waller attacks. A-hole chance. Yeah, he's got attacked. Is this your NXT? Oh, he put the chair over his head and then hurled him into the ring steps. The only thing is, I don't know where this is leading still. I mean, he's being brutally beaten up here. I mean, he in my mind, he's gone until February, but I don't know where he goes at that point. Hugh says, how good after this promo if Gargano turns up on Dynamite and laid out Jungle Boy and debuts as a heel? I reckon he is staying, though. I still can't get a read of it. I still can't get a read as to, is he leaving? Is he staying? I think Johnny is gone now till February. And then in February, he's probably going to have one more match. Do you think next week he has a match and then he goes? Do you think we get... I don't know. Didn't need this. It really didn't, in my opinion, says Daniel. Johnny is staying. He's staying. Thank you, Grayson. That's a great way to become a heel. He's putting over Waller. What do you think? What do you think? Johnny isn't leaving. You'll never fail if you bet on yourself. Maybe that is a reference of if it doesn't work out on the main roster, at least he tried. Maybe. This was a great NXT, though. They've written him off. It's a way to write him off. Are we supposed to think that this clean-cut kid in a flamingo shirt is somehow threatening? Why not have Haaland be the one? Great NXT feels like universe mode, though. Same thing they did to Matt Hardy. Beat him out the door. Robin said he's not leaving. They wouldn't do all that if he was going to AEW. Yeah, look, I definitely don't think he's going to turn up to AEW anytime soon. What I don't know is, are we going to hear from Johnny next week saying, you know, I want a match. I can't go and leave without facing Grayson Waller. Like, is it that this is going to continue and that Johnny next week has a match? Or is that a way to write him off for him to now go off and become a dad? And maybe what Johnny is telling us is the truth, that he doesn't know what is next. But what he does know is that he's going to go off and be a dad. I mean, what the last I heard was that his contract had expired. His contract's up. So his contract is up. He signed an extension, but he is now out of contract. So I don't think, unless news breaks from Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp that he's signed a new deal, I don't think he can come back next week. He's not under contract. But he absolutely could have signed something just moments before the show, or could plan on signing something this week. So, or what do you rate NXT? Good segment, though. Him coming out and being all upset and everything. I mean, I really felt like I was watching something. I really felt like I was watching something significant, you know? Seeing Johnny getting upset. I still can't get a read of whether he's staying or going, though. I really can't get a read of it. It's a really great segment. I can't figure out if he's leaving now and that was a way of writing him off, or if that is a feud that he's going to kind of stick around for. Because, I mean, if Candice is having the baby in February, is he really taking 2 months off before she even has the baby? I mean, maybe she's having it early February, but saying that, even if it's early February, it's only early December now. So is he really taking 2 months off to help Candice? I mean, it's probably what dads should do. It's just not something that you tend to see, really, people getting like that long or taking that long. But if he's out of contract, doesn't matter, does it? And I'm sure they're not struggling for money. I'm sure they're, fine. So he can afford to take a bit of time off and then decide, there's a contract that I should imagine there's a contract there for him to sign if he's not already signed it. Daniel said they surely wrote him off. That chair around the head to the stairs plus a powerbomb through a table. He can't just turn up next week after that. At least Kyle is probably gone. Smart move, says Heather. 8.5 says Hammer Studios. 8 says Austin. 675 Brony. 1987 Big Fan says 6. What a letdown, Matt Riddle, says Mike. Zoom Station says Grayson helped him make a decision. Even AEW wouldn't be full-time when the baby comes. Austin says 8. J14 says 675. WWE doesn't know yet. Only Johnny and Candice know right now. Yeah. It's one that's going to be debated. This is the best NXT 2.0 episode for sure, says Austin. Hammer Studio said, Days, it's getting late. I got to go, but thanks for the stream. Shout out to you, dudes. Bart Simpson says, now that you say that, Days, I think he's going to leave. But when he comes back from Candice having the baby, I think that's going to be his first feud. 725, 715. Ledger Killer says 7. The last few months before a baby are critical. Planning for the arrival, making birthing arrangements, weekly doctor's appointments. Johnny is doing the right thing. Chug said, Days, do you think Gargano is done with WWE? I'm not sold on it. I'm not convinced that is the last we see of Johnny in WWE. I think if I was a betting man and someone's like, right, you've got to bet 50 quid on what you think is happening, I would say I'm gonna bet that what we've heard is true and he is going away for a while. Candice has the baby in February, and whilst he's away and whilst they're focusing on like having a child, he is going to also use that time to figure out what he does next. And I think then around April time, like maybe 2 months before, 2 months after, something like that. Perhaps he's going to take 4 months. Maybe he'll take 6. I have no idea. I don't know how. No, I don't know what he's thinking. But like maybe he'll take some time away to be with Candice, to be a dad, and then whilst he's off, he'll make a decision. Does he come back to? I don't even know if the NXT option is there for him. I don't know if the NXT option will be there for him, because I think NXT is moving in a different direction, isn't it? I mean, it is going with youth, and it could be that that's a way of just putting someone over, whilst as he departs? I think he doesn't know. I'm not expecting him to arrive in AEW anytime soon. Equally, I'm not expecting him to be in the main roster anytime soon. And I'm not expecting him back in NXT. I think he's going away to be a dad. And he's going to make his mind up whilst he's away. That's my gut feeling. He said that he doesn't know what the future holds. I believe him. I think I believe him. Baby boy days, Johnny Wrestling, be happy. Days, we're still in a pandemic, so he probably wants everything to run smoothly with the pregnancy. That's a good point. That's a good point. And as Heather said, those 2 months are really important just because there's a lot of people that aren't there for their partners because they have to work and do whatever. It doesn't surprise me that Johnny is going to be there for Candice, so yeah. They teased Johnny Gargano leaving to ultimately set up Grayson Waller. I want my 8 minutes back, says Johnny. Johnny, I can't even believe you were watching. You was ripping into NXT all day. I thought there was no way you'd be tuning in. Even for them 8 minutes. Main roster is the only option, says Heather. Bron Breakker is going to smash Roderick, then smash Tommaso. Johnny is great in NXT, but needs to go somewhere bigger like Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite. Ray posted a picture, says some exciting news. Maybe 2K22 cover? Maybe. I didn't think about it being a 22 cover. Maybe. I think Johnny will make his decision after Candice has had the baby. Would you want Gargano to win the 22 Royal Rumble? I don't think he can because the 2022 Rumble's at the end of Jan. If what he has just said there is true, and Candice is having the baby in Feb, then there's no way Gargano's going to be in the Rumble. 9.7 says Brendan. We've got 184 votes. 184 votes. I don't know if we can try and push that, sneak up to 200. If we can sneak up to 200, then we can end the poll and we'll have a little look at how people have scored it. 189, 11 away if you've not voted. Get your vote in. We'll see what people are thinking. Waller versus Gargano next week, possibly. And then maybe he returns at the Rumble. Depends on if it's early Feb, late Feb, though you never know when the baby is going to come. Rest with Andy said, I feel like in NXT he'd always be a top guy. In AEW he might get lost in the shuffle. It's a good point. Sieb said, I say keep the belt on Rome until SummerSlam. Johnny debuts on the main roster, and then Johnny could be the one. I mean, Johnny is the closest that WWE have got to Daniel Bryan. You could maybe make a bit of an argument for Sammy as well, but I think Johnny's even closer. I think Johnny and Candice have got such a special connection with the fans that I really hope Vince has seen it. Triple H will have seen it. HBK will have seen it. I've no doubt that they will have told Vince that this guy is it. This guy has got it. But I mean that doesn't mean anything, does it? If Vince ain't seeing it, then it ain't gonna matter. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love for Johnny to go to the main roster and be booked very similar to Daniel Bryan. You know, have the story of, yeah, I'm sorry, you're not big enough. You're a B+ player. Like, I know that story's been done. We can slightly change it. I'm sure we can find a slightly different way to tell it. But that's the kind of story that you want to see, really. You want to see Johnny being told he's not good enough. You want to see Johnny being told he should have stayed in NXT. You want to see Johnny being told that it's different on the main roster and, you know, you might have been a success in NXT, but you better get used to being a failure on the main roster. And, like, being knocked down, being put down to then become the champ and succeed. Like, I want to see that story. And I want to see him win the title and Candice come running down and give him... Or Candice in the front row with the baby. And, like, Johnny's there with the belt and he goes over and, you know, maybe Candice jumps in the ring with the baby and they're all kind of, like, celebrating together. Like, you want all that? Like, the fantasy booking that you can do is like, it's brilliant. All of that stuff is absolute gold. All of that stuff is the kind of stuff that, you know, I think a lot of us tune in to wrestling for and love wrestling for. 32% of people scored this an 8 to 8.75. 27% of people said 7 to 7.75. 22% of people gave it 9 to 10. 17% of people said 6.75 or below. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna score this. I think this is very similar to Raw. You know, I think it's very similar to Raw. I think it's very similar to Raw because Raw started with the cage match and had a few things throughout the show. It was relatively solid, maybe a couple of moments that are a bit weak. And then it has some, interesting at the end. In regards to Raw, it was Becky versus Liv and a title match. In regards to this, it was potentially us saying goodbye to Johnny Gargano. I am gonna... I think I gave Raw 7.25, was it? I think I gave Raw 7.25. I might go the same here. Might go the same. It feels very similar. Both start with a cage match. Both have a decent, like, significant main event or something happen at the end. Both are pretty solid all throughout. Yeah, I'll go with that. I feel like it's very similar. I would probably go up, in all fairness. I would probably go to 7.5. I wouldn't go down. I would go... I'm torn between 7.25 and 7.5. I'm probably around that ballpark. It's a really solid show. Really solid show. I think the only thing is I'm still left kind of like... I didn't get an answer on the Johnny thing. So I'm still a bit like... Do you know what I mean? I wanted to know either way. I mean, what I got was him basically saying, I don't know what the future holds, and then he got beaten up. So it doesn't really... I didn't really get any answers to that. I got the cage match. Cage match was pretty good. And then the stuff in the middle, was pretty solid storytelling. I agree this was... I don't know if it's the best episode of NXT 2.0, because I do remember one episode being like, wow, that was amazing. That was really... I remember one episode really grabbing me. But this is right up there. This is very, very good. We've seen some bad NXT 2.0s, in all fairness. We've seen some pretty poor NXT 2.0s. So, I agree. This is solid. This is solid. Right. Go the dancing girls. Oh, yeah, of course. Them. They were amazing. Most weekdays, I've got it 7.25 as well. Dave sent you. Shout out to you. The only episode that was almost as good was the first one, but this one was still better to me, says Austin. I feel like there's one in between. I can't tell you what it is, and I can't tell you what happened on it, but I just remember I'd have to look back through all the scores. I've just got a feeling there was one that I was like, okay, this is good. This is good. This is what I can see the future now. This is what it's about. I feel like there was an episode that got me like that. So, I don't know. Still really good, though. It is really good. Right, we're going to wrap up anyway. It is... it's late. It's been emotional. We all need to go in a dark room and just have a little think about things. But at least we know Johnny's all right. That's the big thing as well. I mean, I was starting to wonder if everything was okay because we hadn't seen like loads of him in NXT 2.0. And when he said like he was mentally drained and physically and everything, I was like, oh man, I hope he's not been getting like checks and scans and whatever. I hope everything's all right. So at least we know it's nothing like that. So that's a real positive. So I tweeted a pic of Johnny after he was crying with Ciampa and Kyle in the middle of the ring. Oh, okay. I mean, it definitely seems like he's going away. I don't think we would be getting all this if he was going to be coming back next week. There we go. Sat next to Tommaso Ciampa. Emotional. I mean, he has just been beaten up, so he's probably hurting. But there's that. And another... yeah, that's probably a better one there, look, of Johnny emotional. Boom. Right. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.